one of the most powerful tools we have to empower our people and secure the future of our nation. In 2018, after the passage of Hurricane Irma, all CXC fees were covered as a means of supporting the vulnerable families who were displaced. Honorable judges, can you believe that students failed to show up?
Welcome to the first informative episode of the 2026 iteration of the Inter-Secondary School Debate Series, brought to you in association with Caribbean Union Bank. Thank you so much for joining us this evening for our first encounter in the first round of the Inter-Secondary School Debate Series. This evening, we have an exciting encounter between the Ottos Comprehensive School and the Sir Mcchesney George Secondary School, and they will be debating the recent decision by the government to pay the fees for students' CXC subjects is justifiable. Now, before we get started, we need to meet the members of these amazing teams. So we'll start with the proposition from the Ottos Comprehensive School.
My name is Jana Paredes, and I'm the first speaker from the proposition team coming from the Ottos Comprehensive School.
I am Jonathan Mitchell, second speaker of the proposition for Ottos Comprehensive School.
My name is Janesi Espina Jose, and I come from the Ottos Comprehensive School.
My name is Kyra Anthony. I'm the backup, and I come from Ottos Comprehensive School.
And now we will move swiftly along to the opposition, which comes from the Sir Mcchesney George Secondary School.
My name is Kadali Joseph, and I am the first speaker for Sir Mcchesney George Secondary School.
My name is Elena Ambrose, and I'm the second speaker for Sir Mcchesney George Secondary School.
My name is Shai Shaned, and I am the backup speaker from Sir Mcchesney George Secondary School.
As is customary, a panel of judges will decide on the team that will advance in this competition. And so it's only fair that you are also introduced to this wonderful panel of judges. The first judge we have with us this evening is Ms. Sharon Herbert, Social Sector Planner within the Ministry of Social Transformation. Ms. Tanika Ferris, Compliance Officer within the Government of Antigua and Barbuda, and Mr. Kieran Murdoch, Communications Officer within the Integrated Health Outreach. Please give our judges a round of applause. Our timekeeper this evening will be none other than Miss Aisha Lynch. Please welcome her as well. And before we get into the riveting debate that we will have this evening, we'll take a short commercial break so that we can hear a word from our sponsor.
Reporting live from Caribbean Union Bank's press conference, where bank representatives will address its customers and the media, explaining just how CUB simplifies life through its financing.
Today, my team and I will share with you how CUB's financial solutions are designed to simplify your life. Now, let's open the floor for any questions that you may have.
How can you help me as a retirement?
That's a good question. We offer customized retirement solutions at competitive rates.
How easy is it for me to switch my mortgage to CUB?
With attractive interest rates and minimal switching fees, CUB makes switching mortgages easy.
Do you offer point-of-sale machines?
Absolutely. All point-of-sale systems can speed up checkout and boost sales.
Those were great questions, and our team is here to further support you. We're Caribbean Union Bank, the bank that cares, and our doors are open to welcome you.
Good evening and welcome back to the 2026 Intersecondary School Debate Series. This is the first episode of the first round, and I will begin by introducing to this evening's encounter the first proposition speaker, Ms. Jana Paredes from the Ottos Comprehensive School.
Good afternoon, Madam Moderator, honorable judges, worthy opponents, and members of the audience. Benjamin Franklin once advised, and I quote, "An investment in knowledge pays the best interest," end quote. Today, the proposition will prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that the government's decision to pay CXC examination fees is not only justified, but responsible and necessary. Before advancing our case, let us dissect the key terms in today's moot. According to Oxford Languages, government refers to the authority responsible for acting in the public's interest. The Caribbean Examination Council, CXC, is the regional examining body responsible for certifying second-level education across the Caribbean. And justified, as defined by the Cambridge Dictionary, means to show or prove something to be right or reasonable. This afternoon, the proposition would advance three main points. Firstly, that paying CXC fee eases the economic burdens on families. Secondly, that it promotes access, equity, and fairness in education. And thirdly, that it represents strategic national investment in Antigua and Barbuda. My second speaker will prove that this initiative, 1, encourages academic excellence among youths, 2, promotes socio-economic growth and development, and 3, that it aligns with national and international standards. Firstly, judges, education in Antigua and Barbuda is already expensive long before a student ever enters an examination room. Parents pay for transportation, SBAs, extra lessons, and graduation packages, and yet the opposition would have us believe that exam fees exist in isolation. On this note, I ask, should a child's future be determined by their potential or by their parents' pocket? Because if CXC examinations are the gateway to opportunity in Antigua and Barbuda, then placing a financial toll booth at that gate does not test intelligence. It tests income. One parent indicated that, "I didn't even know where the money was coming from to pay for these subjects." The Honorable Prime Minister Gaston Brown stated, and I quote, "This initiative aims to ease the financial burden on family and increase access to education," end quote, as given in an ABS News article dated December 4th, 2025. And let us also not forget that it is these same families who already contribute through taxation. In fact, the government collects funds specifically for education through a mechanism such as the education levy. And if those funds are not reinvested in students at the most critical stage of certification, judges, we must ask, what exactly is the purpose of that levy? Secondly, this policy promotes access and equity. Education should never be a privilege reserved for those who can afford it. By paying CXC fees, the government ensures that more students can sit exams, gain certification, and move on to higher education or employment. The Honorable Prime Minister has emphasized this national vision, stating, and I quote, "Education remains one of the most powerful tools we have to empower our people and secure the future of our nation," end quote. This policy promotes equity by removing the financial hurdle, enabling more students to achieve success based on academic merit rather than economic capacity. Thirdly, judges, this initiative is not reckless spending. It is strategic and responsible investment. According to UNESCO, investment in education increases earning potential, reduces poverty, and strengthens national economy. But it goes beyond that. This is an investment in the future of our country. These students are poised to become the doctors, nurses, teachers, and leaders of tomorrow. It is the duty of the government and society at large to ensure that we are provided with adequate opportunities to fulfill our best potential. The World Bank similarly confirms that educated populations lead on to higher productivity and lower social costs. Madam Moderator, honorable judges, in simple terms, the government either pays now or pays far more later. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Paradis from the Ottos Comprehensive School. She would have completed her presentation in a time of 4 minutes and 42 seconds. And now we welcome the opposition's first speaker, Ms. Cadelia Joseph from the Sir Mcchesney George Secondary School.
Madam Moderator, honorable judges, my worthy opponents, listening and viewing audiences, good evening. We are here to oppose the mood. The recent decision by the government to pay CXC examination fees for students is justified. On December 4th, 2025, the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, the Honorable Gaston Brown, stated that the government will cover the CXC exam fees for all sitting students in 2026. According to Ramshwak and Joda, the term government refers to an agency or body with the authority to control and direct the affairs of a country. A student is defined as one who is enrolled for study at a school, college, etc. by the Webster's New Dictionary and Thesaurus. Merriam-Webster defined justified as having or shown to have a just right or reasonable basis. Madam Moderator, I will focus on the financial aspect of the government's decision to cover all students' rights in CXC 2026 and clearly state why this decision is not justified. My colleague will focus on students' values and motivation towards CXC preparation. Madam Moderator, this decision is unsustainable because there is no ceiling on the number of subjects students are allowed to take. Guyana, for example, only covers 4 core subjects. No defined parameter leaves room for steep fluctuations in the program budget annually. The volatility of the possible financial burden may cause a well-intentioned program to suffer a short lifespan. The budget can be set based on the number of students writing CXC in a given year and the base number of subjects that can be written, thus stabilizing the annual program budget, making it more sustainable. The government has other existing programs which have been struggling financially. For example, an article in the Antigua Observer dated August 5th, 2021, headline, Popular Vendor Struggles to Honor School Uniform Program Due to Slowdown in Revenue. Mr. Sawad stated that non-payment by the government for previous uniform vouchers has significantly reduced the company's revenue intake. My worthy opponents, this is a program that has already been downscaled. It started with 3, then 2, and now how many are we getting? Just 1, right? Great idea, but no fiscal policy to support it. On the contrary, the policy that has allowed textbooks to remain free for over 20 years was accompanied by a fiscal policy via education levy. Madam Moderator, there is also the matter of equity. Just because a program is equally distributed does not make it equitable. The Prime Minister stated that the aim of the program is to provide support for vulnerable families. However, students from vulnerable families would more likely be enrolled in public schools. With that said, students in public schools are limited to the number of subjects they can take due to a lack of resources in specialized areas. For example, at Sir Mcchesney George Secondary School, there has been a shortage of teachers in the technical subject areas, foreign language, and mathematics. As such, students are limited to writing only subjects that are available in that particular school, which is fewer than what is available in the private schools. Statistically, private school students write much more subjects per student than public schools. This means that the government will be spending more for subjects per students that don't need assistance, thus defeating the purpose of the program, which is supposed to be aimed at assisting the vulnerable. How is this justified? Madam Moderator, there is also the issue of skilled labor shortage. In recent news, the Prime Minister indicated that he will be importing skilled workers because the country does not have enough skilled labor. Instead of an unrealistic CXC fee payment program that was not developed properly, funds could instead be diverted to improving other underserved areas in education, such as building a skill-based institution in Barbuda, where we lack vocational education for students. We are aware that there is a Harrison Center, formerly known as ABIS, and the newly introduced ABCAS. But are these adequate to supply the shortfall of skilled labor? What is the purpose of policy? It is designed to not only answer equality, but also equity, and by extension, justice. The core policy created and passed in our honorable houses should enable a just transition for every single citizen and resident of Antigua and Barbuda. The purpose of government policy is to promote general welfare, improve citizens' quality of life, and address collective societal problems. The payment of CXC fees for every single public and private school students in Antigua and Barbuda will never be equitable. Therefore, this decision is not justified. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Joseph, from the Sir Mcchesney George Secondary School, who would have completed her presentation with a time of 5 minutes and 10 seconds. We will now move on to the second speaker of the proposition, Mr. Jonathan Galvez Mitchell from the Ottos Comprehensive School.
All protocols previously established. Good afternoon. My colleague would have analyzed the economic aspect of the discussion, defining justified as something proven to be right and reasonable, and demonstrating that the government's payment of CXC fees, 1, reduces economic strain on families, 2, promotes access and equity, and 3, represents a strategic national investment. Building on those interpretations, I will now add to the discussion by showing how this program, 1, encourages academic excellence among youth, 2, promotes socio-economic growth and development, and 3, aligns with national and international standards. Firstly, removing fees means that students can write as many subjects as they can manage, not afford. This will not only enable, but also motivate them to write more subjects, thereby demonstrating their full potential and creating economic excellence through well-roundedness. Riebel-Alberg 2025 states that having multiple C-Sex subjects can promote better scholarship opportunities, higher chances of being accepted into universities, greater employability, and a more solid foundation for specialized fields. Secondly, let us consider the wider impact. According to UNESCO, education is one of the strongest tools for social mobility and national development. A news article by ABS states that this program, and I quote, is part of the administration's effort to cushion inflationary pressures while ensuring students are not barred from sitting exams due to financial challenges, end quote. Removing the financial obstacle will no doubt have a lasting positive effect on the society, as more youth strive towards higher education in more technical roles. Over time, our population will become more educated and more advanced in a wider variety and combination of fields. Lastly, this program aligns our educational system with national and international standards. Policies such as the 2008 Educational Act and the UN Sustainable Development Goal number 4 highlight the duty of the government to provide quality education for all. This includes inclusive learning and a reduction of educational inequality, both of which are achieved. With this program, the government raises the standard of education, creating avenues and motivation for students to answer boldly to duty's call. Judges, I am sure we all can attest to the old doctrine, education is the key to success. An educated population leads to a strong workforce, reduced poverty, and long-term socioeconomic growth. This policy breaks cycles of disadvantage and replaces them with opportunity. So I leave you with this final thought. Education is not a handout. It is an investment with guaranteed returns. Madam Moderator, honorable judges, the government's decision is justified. And with these arguments, the proposition proudly rests. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mitchell, the second proposition speaker from the Ottos Comprehensive School, and he would have completed his presentation in a time of 3 minutes and 8 seconds. We now move on to the second speaker of the proposition, the Sir Mcchesney George Secondary School, in none other than Miss Elena Ambris. Please make her feel welcome.
All protocol observed. Good evening. My colleague has presented the financial aspect of the argument. My task is to further expound the reason why the decision made by the government to pay for all CXC subjects in Antigua and Barbuda is not justified. I will delve into the value placed on education, increased absences, and the lack of consideration given to special needs students. Madam Moderator, students would not value the program since it is no longer their parents' responsibility to pay for the CXC subjects. Motivation to work hard could take a major hit. Just look at students' motivation when preparing for the grade 6 national assessment since the implementation of universal secondary education. Ponder on that for a moment. Furthermore, this lack of value could trigger an increase in no-show. This lesson could be learned from the mistakes of other countries. Let us take a look at the British Virgin Islands, who implemented this program, then later cut it completely. The BVI Daily News, while explaining the reason for cutting the program, stated that students aren't showing up for exams. No surprise there, as this happened right here. In 2018, after the passage of Hurricane Irma, all CXC fees were covered as a means of supporting the vulnerable families who were displaced. Honorable judges, can you believe that students failed to show up? Teachers are frantically calling, dispatching taxis to get them to write the exams. With our government now covering this cost, the absences for CXC exam are bound to increase. My worthy opponent, increased absences also increases wasted valuable resources. Wouldn't you agree? Moreover, students may agree and sign up to write subjects that they are not confident in or prepared to pass. Special needs students who are slated to write CVQ or C-Select subjects which are specifically designed for their needs may revert to writing CXC subjects since the cost is being covered by the government. Ignoring support for vocational certification could push students to write CXC subjects that they are unable to handle in the first place. My worthy opponent, get it clear. We are not saying that this program is without merit. However, there has to be some clear guidelines as finance is not infinite and needs to be planned for and utilized to provide resources where it is lacking. Madam Moderator, it cannot be reasonable for the government to pay for all CXC subjects for students enrolled in an institution without proper vetting. Have we become a country that throws money at our problems with no clear guidelines and protocols? Madam Moderator, my worthy opponents, honorable judges, children and parents need to understand the value of contributing to their education to become successful. It is for these reasons why my colleague and I stand firm to oppose the mood. The recent decision by the government to pay for CXC examination fees for students is not justified. I thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ambris. Our second proposition speaker from the Sir Mcchesney George Secondary School. And she would have completed her presentation in a time of 3 minutes and 3 seconds. And thank you so much, Ms. Ambris. Our second opposition speaker from the Sir Mcchesney George Secondary School. And she would have completed her presentation in a time of 3 minutes and 3 seconds. We will now take our second break to hear from our sponsor, the Caribbean Union Bank. The rebuttal segment comes up next. Please stay with us.
Reporting live from Caribbean Union Bank's press conference, where bank representatives will address its customers and the media, explaining just how CUB simplifies life through its financing.
Today, my team and I will share with you how CUB's financial solutions are designed to simplify your life. Now let's open the floor for any questions that you may have.
How can you help me as a retiree?
That's a good question. We offer customized retirement solutions at competitive rates.
How easy is it for me to switch my mortgage to CUB?
With attractive interest rates and minimal switching fees, CUB makes switching mortgages easy.
Do you offer point of sale machines?
Absolutely. All point of sale systems can speed up checkout and boost sales.
Those were great questions, and our team is here to further support you. We're Caribbean Union Bank, the bank that cares, and our doors are open to welcome you.
Hello and welcome back to the 2026 Inter-Secondary School Debate Series. If you are just joining us, we have been seated with the Ottos Comprehensive School and the Sir Mcchesney George Secondary School, and they are meeting to debate the moot, the recent decision by government to pay CXC examination fees for students is justified. The rebuttal segment is about to begin, and each presenter will be given 3 minutes in which to complete their presentation. The bell will ring once at the 1-minute mark and twice when the time has expired. And moving quickly into the round, we welcome Miss Cadelia Joseph from the Sir Mcchesney George Secondary School.
Madam Moderator, honorable judges, my worthy opponent stated that removing fees motivates students to write more subjects. However, as my colleague stated, the government now covering the cost for all CXC fees does not motivate them. For example, let's take a look at when students are preparing for the Grade 6 National Assessment. They lack motivation because they know even if they get 40 out of 400, 400 out of 400, they're still being placed in a secondary school. We are aware of the financial burdens families face. However, since it's the government paying for the CXC, students don't prepare to write subjects like how they prepare if their parents are paying for it. How can you say that paying for CXC aligns educational system with national development? We're not saying paying CXC fees are wasted resources, but it can be placed forward to the skilled labor our Prime Minister spoke about. Madam Moderator, as I also mentioned, this decision is unsustainable because there is no ceiling on the number of subjects students can take. How is this equitable when private schools write about 14 to 15 subjects and public schools about 10? Madam Moderator, we aren't against the mood, but it's the way the program was put together. Madam Moderator, the payment of CXC fees for every single public and private school students in Antigua and Barbuda will never be equitable. Therefore, I stand strong again to say this decision will never be justified. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Cadelia Joseph of the Sir Mcchesney George Secondary School. She would have completed her presentation in a time of 1 minute and 39 seconds. To end the rebuttals, we will hear from the proposition. Please join me in welcoming Miss Jana Paredes from the Ottos Comprehensive School.
Good afternoon once again, Madam Moderator, honorable judges, worthy opponents, and members of the audience. It is ironic that the opposition would reject a moot in which they will or have benefited from. The first speaker for the opposition stated that the government is importing workers because of the lack of skill. This lack of skill is caused due to the limitation of education. To achieve these skills, as I previously stated, the Honorable Prime Minister has emphasized this national vision, stating, and I quote, "Education remains one of the most powerful tools we have to empower our people and secure the future of our nation," end quote. The opposition opposition also stated that parents as well as students won't appreciate this policy. I am a testament that this is indeed not true. Myself, along with other colleagues, were pleased to hear the news as we were limited to only writing 6 subjects due to the financial strain on our families. Now, I, along with those other students, are able to write 11 subjects. Additionally, the opposition stated that students will not show up for exams. If this is indeed true, a policy can be set in place for students who fail or do not show up to pay for these subjects for themselves out of their parents' pockets. Lastly, the opposition stated that students will write subjects in which they are not prepared for. I know we can all attend to the policy that are placed at schools where teachers have to sign beside of the subjects in which students would like to do. This ensures that students won't write subjects in which they are not ready for. Madam Moderator, honorable judges, the government's decision is justified, and with these arguments, the proposition proudly rests. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Jana Paredes from the Ottos Comprehensive School. She would have completed her presentation in a time of 2 minutes and 23 seconds. And that brings us to the end of the first encounter of the first round of the 2026 Inter-Secondary School Debate Series. Please show your appreciation for both schools and their presentations this evening. It is that time again for another break, and we will hear a word from our judges when we return.
Reporting live from Caribbean Union Bank's press conference, where bank representatives will address its customers and the media, explaining just how CUB simplifies life through its financing.
Today, my team and I will share with you how CUB's financial solutions are designed to simplify your life. Now, let's open the floor for any questions that you may have.
How can you help me as a retiree?
That's a good question. We offer customized retirement solutions at competitive rates.
How easy is it for me to switch my mortgage to CUB?
With attractive interest rates and minimal switching fees, CUB makes switching mortgages easy.
Do you offer point of sale machines?
Absolutely. All point of sale systems can speed up checkout and boost sales.
Those were great questions, and our team is here to further support you. We're Caribbean Union Bank, the bank that cares, and our doors are open to welcome you.
Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. If you're just joining us, we would have met with the Ottos Comprehensive School and the Sir Mcchesney George Secondary School, who would have debated the moot, the recent decision by governments to pay CXC examination fees for students is justified. The judges have deliberated and tallied their scores, and to present their findings, and to announce the winning team, please welcome none other than Miss Sharon Herbert.
Good evening. It is my pleasure this evening to present the results on behalf of my fellow judges. This evening, we would like to say that, we would like to commend both teams. They started the series with a bang, and we found that for the very first encounter, it was very good, and we were very impressed with the students because they were able to relate to the topic. It's a topic that's timely and relevant to them, and we saw the passion and the execution in the debate this evening. It also demonstrated in their delivery and in the content that they were able to use personalized examples relating to them as students and their parents and the benefits of having the exam fees being paid, the CXC fees being paid. So it was very heartwarming to see that they could actually use examples to themselves as students. We found that there was a decent effort in terms of use of references, especially since the topic is relatively new and there's not that many literature research. But it was evident that they did quite a bit of research and reading in terms of their preparation this evening. We also found that all of the students were very familiar with their scripts and they had good use of the notes and the cue cards. On the flip side, and I'm going to be very brief, we found that in terms of the delivery, the modulation, we found some or most of the debaters this evening were shouting a bit, and we would like to caution the future debaters, you can be confident without shouting. Rebuttals, we found that both teams, the rebuttals flowed well, and that's very important. We didn't have a lot of breaks and gasp and arms, and it flowed very well, and we want to commend both teams for that this evening. However, we found that one team, more than the other, was able to dissect and refute their opponent's arguments with supporting evidence more than the other team. However, as we said, we were quite impressed with the topic and the overall presentation by both teams. And on that note, the results. The better debater for the proposition, Ms. Jana Paredes. The better debater for the opposition, Kadalia Joseph. The best overall debater, Jana Paredes. And with an average score of 64.5, Sir Mcchesney George. And with an average score of 77.6, the Ottos Comprehensive School declaring the Ottos Comprehensive School the winners for the first encounter in this year's series. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Herbert, and congratulations are definitely in order for our better speakers this evening. One more round of applause for Ms. Jana Paredes as well as Ms. Kadalia Joseph. And a massive congratulations to the Ottos Comprehensive School for being declared the winners of this evening's debate. I would now like to take this opportunity to welcome one of the speakers from the proposition to come and offer their closing remarks, and they will be followed by one of the speakers from the opposition to do the same.
Good afternoon, honorable judges, moderator, and others in the crowd. For this is my first ever debate match, and I thank both my worthy opponents, my friends in the crowd, and my family in the audience, and of course, my teammate here. Today was a great day. Today was filled with back and forth and great rebuttals, great debates. And I just want to say that I'm proud of everybody, not just of my team, but I'm proud of the enemy team as well, for we all did a great job. And I want to say that there is no downside to winning or losing. I believe that today we are all winners. We will all learn from our mistakes, and we will all learn from what we did well. Thank you.
Good evening once again. I would like to thank God Almighty up above for guiding us throughout this day. I would like to say thank you to my trainers, Miss Weber, Miss Price, and Miss B, and also our principal, Mr. Harry, for supporting us all the way. I would like to congratulate the winning team. You guys did an awesome job. And I would also like to congratulate my team because we also did an awesome job. I would also like to say it doesn't matter who won or who lost. We all did an amazing job, and we all sail one island just separated by water, but we all did very good. Thank you.
Thank you so much to both our teams, and specifically to Ms. Joseph for reminding us that we are only separated by some water. Both of you did an outstanding job this evening, and I want for you both to be very proud of yourselves. And I want to extend a massive thank you to our studio audience as well as our viewing audience for joining us this evening. This 2026 debate series comes to you in association with the Caribbean Union Bank. Be sure to join us next time, where the Princess Margaret School as well as the Peers Secondary School will meet for an encounter where they will be debating the moot. Antigua and Barbuda should implement a social media ban for youth under 16 years. That's going to be very exciting. You do not want to miss it. Until then, think positive thoughts. Good evening.
Reporting live from Caribbean Union Bank's press conference, where bank representatives will address its customers and the media, explaining just how CUB simplifies life through its financing.
Today, my team and I will share with you how CUB's financial solutions are designed to simplify your life. Now, let's open the floor for any questions that you may have.
How can you help me as a retiree?
That's a good question. We offer customized retirement solutions at competitive rates.
How easy is it for me to switch my mortgage to CUB?
With attractive interest rates and minimal switching fees, CUB makes switching mortgages easy.
Do you offer point of sale machines?
Absolutely. All point of sale systems can speed up checkout and boost sales.
Those were great questions, and our team is here to further support you. We're Caribbean Union Bank, the bank that cares, and our doors are open to welcome you.